The Dominican Republic is a country of extremes and of contrast. From the highest mountain, Pico Duarte, which is 3,175 meters above sea level, to Lake Enriquillo, that is 34 meters below sea level. The Dominican Republic shares the island of Hispaniola with Haiti. It is an island of contrast in itself, where two different languages, cultures, and traditions share a history of dilemma between wars and collaboration in their fights against colonial governments. When Christopher Columbus first arrived in 1492, he once wrote,
"When I first came to this new world, I knew this was the most beautiful land that human eyes had ever seen, from the sandy beaches to the high mountains."
The Spanish people were first greeted by a large population of friendly Taino Indians and a discovery of gold when they arrived in 1492. But by 1548, the Taino population had been virtually wiped out from exhaustion, starvation, disease, and an unsuccessful attempt to enslave them to work in the fields and gold mines. The black African slave trade was introduced to take the place of the Taino Indians. By 1697, Spain had turned over the western third of the island to France, now known as Haiti. It was under the Treaty of Ryswick that gave France control of the western part of the island. Soon after France took control, the African slaves rebelled against their French masters. This was the only successful rebellion in African history. It was led by Toussaint L'Ouverture. But by 1822, the Haitians conquered the entire island for 22 years. On February 27, 1844, the Dominican people declared their independence from Haiti and formed their own republic. The Dominican people are a blend of these three ethnic groups: Spanish, African, and Taino Indian. From the Spanish, they have inherited their language, Catholicism, food styles, and machismo characteristics. From the African and Taino Indian culture, they have inherited their handicrafts, cuisine, folklore, and music rhythm. In 1930, the Dominican Republic suffered a major transition. Rafael Leonidas Trujillo Molina dictated the country for 31 years until his assassination in 1961. People of the Dominican Republic suffered because many profits were channeled to the Trujillo family.
During Trujillo's time, it was very different than what we have now, because Trujillo was a soldier, military, and a dictator. Now we have not a dictator. There were no free press in Trujillo's time. There was only one newspaper. Regime tried that the people does not listen the wireless from the exterior. So you feel that you were in a jail.
Today, the Dominican Republic has changed greatly since the days of Trujillo. The president of the Dominican Republic, Joaquin Balaguer, is 87 years old, yet 70% of the people are under the age of 35. The tropical country has a population of 7 million people, with more than 90% of them being of the Roman Catholic religion. As a symbol of this religion, the Faro a Colón is a national monument. It is a burial site of Christopher Columbus that blesses the sky of Santo Domingo at night. The Dominican Republic is also where the first university and the first cathedral of the New World can be found. Although the Dominican Republic is a third world country, it possesses one of the most technological advanced telecommunication industries in Latin America and in the Caribbean. The Dominican Republic has been invaded twice this century by the United States military. Once in 1916, again in 1965. Despite history, there seems to be no resentment to the growth of North American businesses. There are many North Americans who have chosen to live and work in the Dominican Republic.
I never thought about coming to the Dominican Republic. Actually, I came by accident on a vacation, and I stayed. I found that there were nice people here. It was a beautiful environment, and I got involved with a company that helped me to begin working. I work for a design school. It's Southwest Chavon School of Design, and I am the network administrator for a series of Macintoshes.
This fall, Dr. Raymond Giles wanted to give students from historically black colleges and universities the opportunity to study abroad in this country.
The program, as it was designed, is to help students develop conversational skills, learn about the culture, and for which they receive credit, college credit also, and apply the language skills to a practical day-to-day situation in some area that they have chosen as either their academic or career interest. We have students here who are in business and political science, engineering, mass communications, anthropology. And this is what we would like to encourage. Students who would not normally, or usually I should say, think of study abroad because of the lack of opportunities for them to get credits in their major subject. And this is, I think, the unique feature of this program. Student can be involved in an accounting organization as a supervisor and get the kind of experience here that would usually take a considerably longer period of time in the United States. People can come down because of the technological interests in this country. Many people, students in technology, can come down and get jobs in computer science at the highest levels.
Along with learning about the culture and studying the language at the National University of Pedro Enriquez de Reina, a private institution, the students expanded their career goals on an international level, interning with different companies and organizations related to their field of study.
But, I love it. That's all I can say.
I worked at the Rehabilitation Center, and there I served as an assistant to one of the psychologists. And what we do is analyze the children to evaluate what level of retardation they stand at.
I love my internship. When I first came, I was very intimidated because I saw all the sophisticated machinery. But as time went by, and as I talked to the workers, they told me every little thing about all the machines. So now they're all my favorites.
My experience in the Dominican Republic, it's been a very interesting one. First of all, I didn't expect to have the things that I've had since I've been here, such as working at USIS, meeting the ambassador, going to political functions and stuff like that, meeting important people.
I got a great internship with one of the top 8 accounting firms in the United States, Price Waterhouse, and my position there is supervisor over the General Services Department. So basically, I'm developing a new system, a file system for their company because it's so it's so behind. They're so behind. Everything they do is manually. They haven't gotten into the technology and the computer age or whatever. But I'm in charge of that department, working there. And that's one thing that's good came out of this because I can always go back and try to get a job with them and that is a great company.
Some of the students stayed in Juan Dolio, a resort area. The other students lived in the capital, Santo Domingo.
Well, Juan Dolio is primarily a tourist area. There are a lot of people from other countries here, primarily from Europe, a lot of Italians, a lot of Germans.
In Juan Dolio, I teach at the Susan B. Anthony International School. That's part of my part of the program. I teach Italians, Germans, Dominicans, Americans. We teach English, 7 subjects, math, science, social studies, all the other, right.
And ESL. And we teach English as a second language also.
What grades?
I teach the 4th through the 6th grade.
And I teach 2nd and 3rd.
Living in the capital is surprisingly fast-paced. It's just like living in the city. You know, I can say a lot of good things and I can say a lot of bad things. The living in the city to me is just like living in New York. There's no difference. You have your public transportation, you have your stores, you got your movie theaters, you got your malls, of course, people. It's just like living in the States. The only thing is it's a Spanish version of the States, and you have good weather all the time, of course.
I think my biggest adjustment was getting accustomed to negotiating. In the U.S., I'm accustomed to $13.95, and that's the price. Here, it's a matter of bargaining, and you can talk them down to $10.95. It just depends upon how strong your negotiation powers are. And for me, I had to learn.
All the pollution, you know, from the trucks, you get sweaty, you feel nasty. You just want to go home and take a shower every 10 minutes.
The other thing is the transportation. It's quick and it's cheap. The funny part about it is most of the guaguas, which guaguas are buses, are very old, very beat up. But believe me, they get you where you want to go. A little crowded, but you get there.
The students experienced the extremes and contrasts. They had much to say, from their likes and dislikes to how the experience of living in a different culture has helped them interpret life.
I think I've always been a very patient person, but I think I'm more patient than before. It's given me an idea of how other people live, to be more acceptable of other people's ideas and how they feel. Believe it or not, I think I've matured even more.
So by me being here, it definitely made me more independent as a person and made me really grow, made me really strong and able to handle the problems and the pressure here. Whereas back at home, I was always running home to mom and daddy, but now I don't run home. Now I handle it myself the best way that I can.
Daily life is something that can't be described in words at all because it's always changing. And the pace here, it's just like the city, everything is fast-paced. You have your up days, your up and down days, your good days and bad days, rather. And everyday life is from one extreme to another, worrying about if you might not have lights due to the fact that there's a low water shortage here, or if you have running water when you come home to take a nice cold shower.
The whole experience has made me appreciate life more in terms of how we live in the United States. We're very spoiled.
Yeah.
Here, it's been a challenge.
The Dominican Republic is a country of contrast, where the rich live next to the poor in the same neighborhood, where modern cars are at the same stoplight as horse-driven carriages. It is a place where modern technology exists and frequent power outages occur. Although the Dominican society has its extremes, there is one vibe that links the society together: the sounds of merengue.
Te fuiste, no te importó nada, ni el amor que yo te brindaba. Llorando, aquí me has dejado. Ay, tu decisión me tiene frustrada. Pensaba solamente en ti. Ay, me defraudaste.
Beautiful here, I love it.
Y se me hace difícil creer que tú seas esa mujer. No puede ser. No, no.
Hola, chica.
Y se me hace difícil creer que tú seas esa mujer. No puede ser.
Not the other word.
I need a partner. Rose. Need a partner.
Hey.
Gracias, Raúl.
you.